edition of Unbearable podcast. This is post-game Vikings edition. I'm Drew Tester with always is I'm Voss. Voss, how are you feeling?
Drew, today I'm dressed in all black because last night was the funeral for the 2020 Bears season. It just, there's nothing to root for anymore.
I agree. That's why, before we walked into this, you said, I have a lot to say. And I'm actually glad you have a lot to say because me personally, I honestly don't have much to say. I mean, it is what it is. We're the team we are. And I feel like anything more we're saying is just beating a dead horse. Like, everyone knows our offense is terrible. Our line is garbage. Nick Foles isn't good. What more could really be said about these group of guys? Which I hope you have more to say, but what hasn't been said already?
No, that's exactly it. I do feel like we're beating a dead horse. So, I mean, we could just go into the post game a little bit, and then after that, I kind of almost got a rant.
Okay.
And you know how I could be with my speeches, and this is one of my speeches.
Okay.
So,
thinking about if we're just going to start off with the game, which I mean, like I said, from our perspective, I feel like there isn't much to say. It hasn't already been said. Defense played amazing. Offense did whatever the opposite of that is, and that's basically sums it up. I mean, having a different play caller. I thought in the first half we were moving the ball actually a little bit better. I'm like, wow, it's actually pretty decent. It just didn't carry over into the second half like it normally does not.
Yeah, I think you failed to mention, but also it's kind of like you forgot to mention the special teams, which I thought that I guess you could say they played great because Patterson's touchdown, but then you can also say they played bad because what's his name?
Harris.
It's not Demetrius Harris. No, it's Dwayne Harris.
Dwayne.
And then that sets the Vikings up. So, I mean, in a game when you have a special teams touchdown, you have 2 defensive turnovers. It's like,
if you can't win that game, what game are you going to win?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I'm only going to say a couple things about the game. I thought that Cordero Patterson, he actually had a great game, and I don't know if it's because he was playing Minnesota or what, but with the kickoff return with the first half, he seemed to be running the ball really well and just picking up yards, fighting hard for yards. So I thought he played pretty good game. I liked Anthony Miller, our punt returner. I thought he just brought some juice at punt.
He also costed us big time, though. Let a ball go right through his hands. Interception. It wasn't the best throw by Foles, but he still should have had that.
Yeah. As punt returner, he was fine. Receiver wasn't his best night. It was no one's best night in offense except for Patterson, which I thought he was probably the best offensive player, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
And then on defense, I think Roquan Smith's top 5 middle linebacker in the league.
Hold on. Before we went into Roquan, because he did play great, if there's one play that sums up the Bears' offense this year, it was, I believe, the first quarter. It might have even been our first drive. Actually, I think it was the first play we ran all game. They threw a wide receiver screen to Darnell Mooney, and Anthony Miller gets in front of Darnell Mooney and tries to make a block and just gets pushed back so hard by Minnesota's defense that he ends up tackling Darnell Mooney by himself trying to make a block. If that doesn't break it down and sum it up, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, you're right. That was the first play, and I think that set the tone. One more thing about the offense since we came back. Well, 2 more things. I thought Artavius Pierce kind of flashed. So I'm interested to see. He just seemed like a real speedy guy.
Is he number 25?
No, that was Lamar Miller.
Oh, okay. That's what I thought.
This guy was like 46, and he only had a couple rushes, but he added some juice to him. And the other thing, too, is what you said. I thought the first half offensively, I was about this close to calling into Hogan Johns and saying Bill Lazor more like Bill Savior because it looked like he had things going. And then I saw a tweet that said, I think Nagy got bored during the first half, so he took the play calling over for the second half. That's what it seemed like. No,
it did. It really did. That's actually funny. I didn't see that, but that is funny.
Yeah. So, I mean, the defense is going to do what the defense does. I mean, it played great. I think Roquan Smith had maybe the best night of his Bears career, but that's hard to say because he's a pretty good player. And then I think Jalen Johnson, we talk about him a lot on this podcast. He got tested quite a bit against Justin Jefferson, but at the same time, I think he's holding his own. He's a piece that's looks really promising for the future.
So, I think Justin Jefferson was the first receiver that matched up with him, and we could really say through 10 weeks now, 10 games, right? We're 5-5. So 1 out of 10 receivers he matched up with got the better of him. I mean, that's good. It's going to happen.
Well, and that's going to be fun because they're going to play each other for 2 times a year for at least the next 4 years. So that's I like that rivalry. All right. Do we have anything else to say about this game? Can we put it behind us?
All I could do is try to put it behind me. One thing
Yeah.
I will say is that if Trubisky's not back after the bye, that's unbelievably horrible. Like, just
Yeah.
put him back in there, give him a
We need
shot.
Trubisky just for his athleticism, especially with the way the offensive line plays. Trubisky would definitely give us some
And
juice.
Trubisky gives our offense more upside than Foles because of what he could do with his legs, in my opinion. And when it's this bad, you just need something. So.
All right, here's my little speech.
Okay.
When we started this podcast, I originally called you after the Falcons game. I felt the Falcons game was a really divisive game where we won, but a lot of people were still saying we suck, we suck. We knew early on there was always the people saying we suck. There was the naysayers. I try to be an optimistic fan, and I called you on the phone and I said, hey, I think about this podcast, and then we talked about the game on the phone. We said this, and that. Do you remember?
Yeah, no, I remember.
Then we didn't do anything the following week. That conversation was just you and I. We didn't do the Colts game. We end up losing our first game, so we're 4-1. The very first episode we did was before the Buccaneers, and we were 5-1. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. We're doing a podcast. We're a great team. But you always think about our name. It's Unbearable Podcast. It's just like I feel like ever since we started doing this, we the Bucs game, we've lost, and it's been unbearable games to watch. So like we knew even back then when we were 5-1, not to get too excited because the Bears, we
fell right into the trap though every single year.
Well, that's the thing, and I told you I was wearing black. So since then, we've gone 5-5. Our offense is incompetent, and I'm wearing black because there's nothing to root for.
No.
To be honest with you, when I first became a fan, like a true fan, it was 24. I was 14. It was 2014 turning 15 in the 2015 season. That's Ryan Pace's first season as general manager. So for the first 3 years under John Fox, I was like, okay, we might suck, but there's some stuff to root for. We got to root for the future. We got to hope some guys, like a big guy I was on was Amos. Like we could at least let's hope he's good for the future. Okay, we got the defense, and then 2018 we bring in Matt Nagy, and we're like, okay, here comes the offense. So we're like, we might not be good this year, but actually we go 12-4. So then we get like our expectations for the roof last year, and then we get humbled and go 8-8. And we're like, you know what? Trubisky, Nagy, they're gonna have a couple years together now. They'll finally figure it out. And then this year, it's the beginning of the end.
It looks like almost worse than last year.
It is worse.
It's worse. Year. They got worse. I feel like.
It just every single year, I always had something to root for, and now there's nothing to root for. The only thing to root for, seriously, is for the Bears to lose out. That's the only thing to root for because we're not going anywhere, and that just sucks. For the first time in 6 years, the Bears have nothing to root for. And in my opinion, I really liked Matt Nagy, but if you're supposed to be billed as some kind of offensive guru, you should be showing a little bit more promise than what we have right now. Right now, we have nothing. And that's what I don't understand is our team is good other than our quarterback, our offense, and maybe the coaching.
That's a pretty significant things. Beside our quarterback, our entire offense, and our coach, we're good. Oh, okay.
Our offensive line. I'm happy with our receiving room. I'm happy with our running back. I'm actually happy with our tight ends, believe it or not. And our defense, there's nothing to complain about there. Like the problem is we have good players, and we even have good pieces in that terrible offensive line, like Cody Whitehair, James Daniels. It's just, I truly think that Matt Nagy's going to be fired.
No, yeah, me too.
I don't want Ryan Pace to be fired. I'm going to say that. I think he's been phenomenal. Drafting.
He had his chance. Nick Foles was his last shot, dude, in my opinion.
But here's the thing. I don't think Nick Foles was all his doing. I think he listened to Nagy. And I don't know, how that looks at ownership, but I know that Ryan Pace and ownership have a good relationship.
Okay, well, then it's time he needs to step up and start making his own decisions then.
Well, that's how it is. I think he might have said, hey, we're going over after Foles. I'm going to do it, but this is Nagy's decision. I honestly think that could be it because I think Pace's decision was more to go for Teddy Bridgewater. And people forget the Bears were in on Bridgewater. The only reason Bridgewater didn't sign with them is because he wasn't guaranteed this day one starter. That seems more like Pace to me. I hope we could get another season with Pace because I like him a lot. He's just great in late rounds and getting bargain free agents. But Nagy, he's not the answer. And I don't think like a lot of people would say, okay, go get Eric Bieniemy. Well, you know where Bieniemy came from is the Chiefs. It's the same thing as getting Nagy, in my opinion. And the only person I think I truly like is Joe Judge, because
Joe Brady.
Joe Brady?
He's LSU's offensive coordinator. Yeah.
Joe Brady, my bad. Yeah, because what he did at LSU, that was insane. LSU is shit now because they don't have Burrow. They don't have all the wide receivers. They don't have Joe Brady, because Joe Brady was in charge of the passing game and the wide receivers. Yeah. And they're doing good things in Carolina with, Mike Davis and Teddy Bridgewater. They're competent offense because Christian McCaffrey's out every week. So I like him a lot. I want to bring him in. Okay, we got the defense. We got that established. Just get us a young guy. If the Bears don't end up with the top 15 pick, we're screwed, because there's 4
going to.
They're going to go in the first round. And I think we'll trade up for one of those guys if we're at least in the top 15. And if we're not, I don't know. It's just the future is so.
It's not very bright.
Not at all.
Putting it lightly.
For like 5 minutes. Do you have anything?
I think you said a lot. Mostly, like, pretty much all good stuff right there. Especially when you're like losing like this, it's like, what possibly are you gonna say? It's like, oh, well, we're doing this good. Like, there's just nothing. Like it's not, and it's even worse because it's not like, it'd be one thing if we were like, I don't know, like the Giants or like the Washington football team, where it's just like, yeah, we're not going to be good this year. It is what it is. We were started off so good and we got so excited, and now it's just like the drastic shift in the last couple of weeks is just insane. Because do you remember a couple of weeks ago when we beat Tampa Bay and Nick Foles was in there, and we were like, yeah, Nick Foles is finally picking up. We just beat Tampa Bay. We're the real deal. People starting to respect us. And now look where we're sitting.
Who do we play between Tampa Bay and the Rams?
No one.
Okay. Was that the speech when Nick Foles was like, we're just gonna get better. No, we played someone in between them.
No, that was against. Oh no, that was against Carolina. Yeah, you're right. We played Carolina between them. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we beat Carolina, and Nick Foles is like, we're gonna get better. Don't worry. We know what we need to do, and the only thing is up from here. Well,
yeah, that would have been nice.
An exact opposite. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that will keep my interest this season is if we bring back Trubisky, just to see what he could do.
Yeah.
I don't think he's not going to be on the team next year, because you're not going to sign him based off.
Unless he goes on some sort of just starts getting right and throws like 15 touchdowns and no picks to close out the season or something like that. It would have to take something miraculous for him to come back. And if anything, that'd be on like a franchise tag anyway. Yeah,
I guess I just want to see him just for my own enjoyment. But like the defense, just shut all those guys down. Tell them to go stay healthy. We're going to try again next year. But like, there's no point on putting your guys out there. Like, no. And I truly thought that we could be 10-6. That was my.
That was the floor.
Yeah, the ceiling was 13-3. I believe that at one point this season. Even with all our problems, I thought we couldn't get much worse than that. We did.
Our floor right now is 5-11. That's not even a joke.
No, I don't see us winning another game. I don't know how we can if
I think we'll beat Jacksonville. That's
What's
it.
Up?
I think we'll beat Jacksonville, but that's it.
Don't think we'll beat the Texans?
No.
We got Green Bay twice. The Vikings
that's 2 L's for sure.
The Lions. It sucks.
No. And this is like, it's just so bad because it's no matter how good we start off. Like even last year, we were like 3-1 in the beginning. It's just these flaws just keep catching up, and you just can't escape it. And they haven't done anything from last year to this year to try to solve it. Nothing. They brought in Nick Foles, which just made things worse.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't. They tried to fix the tight ends, but they completely ignored the offensive line. That was it. Honestly, I think we're gonna have to end this because I'm just kind of starting to get really sad because
this is not healthy.
This is by far the darkest time of being a Bears fan for me. I mean, if you look at my Twitter, it's basically only Bears tweets. If you look in my closet, it's half Bears clothes. Like, the Bears, like,
it's embarrassing to be a fan of them right now. Period.
No, and that was another thing I was going to bring up. Every single one of our games, like the past 3 out of 4 weeks, have been on prime time. So nationally, everyone's just like, "Oh, the Bears suck. The Bears suck. The Bears suck."
But we do. They're not wrong.
I know, but I just don't want to hear it from them. Like,
I know what you're saying.
And then what sucks is our next game is prime time against Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's
And
not going to be good.
if our quarterbacks don't get better, we're gonna have Tyler Bray out there. Like, I'm not looking forward to that at all, dude. I just cringe so hard.
Tyler Bray. I think he's been on the practice squad for like 8 years.
Yeah, he's basically a coach. That's what they consider him.
Yeah.
All right. There's a programming change. We're dropping down to 2 episodes a week. We'll do our post game.
Well, this might not even be 2 episodes this week because we have a bye.
Oh no, we're still gonna pick games.
But yeah, okay, so that and then that's it.
So next week there won't be 2 episodes.
Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, we're just gonna do the post game episode, kind of like State of the Union for Bears fans. That's kind of what happened now.
That's kind of what it is becoming, like a lowly key as we keep losing.
Yeah, and then we'll do our pick'em episodes. Which, if you have been watching that and you've been doing my can't lose parlay, you probably won a couple $100 like I have because we're 4 for 5 on those. So come hang out with us. We'll do Bears pregame on that. We'll probably do like the first 10 minutes, just Bears pregame. Not even because those episodes are like only 20. We'll do like 3 minutes Bears pregame. Then we'll pick.
At this point, it's just going to be, defense is going to play good. We don't have anything to score with, and we can't block. All right, let's get into picks. That's basically what Bears pregame is.
Yeah, there's no reason to just pregame anymore. So
no, there's not.
Maybe if we're good, we'll actually pregame while we pregame. But that is a future that probably won't be
pregame squared. Is that what you're saying?
Like we will like be hanging out, drinking some beers.
That's what I'm saying. Pregame squared. Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be a new podcast if we ever get good, but I don't see that happening. So,
not in the foreseeable future.
Nope. Unless, fingers crossed for Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence by some miracle, or Zach Wilson. So, I mean, but there's also Kyle Trask and Trey Lance. So there's like 5 quarterbacks that could go in the first round. And then how many teams?
At this point, bro, I just don't trust what we have to develop at quarterback.
Well, that's the thing where maybe a new coaching staff has to come in. All right, guys. I'll see you for the pick'em episode.